What's going on, guys? Nice guy driver. So yesterday, I don't know if this happens to iPhones, but my Samsung phone got so hot, from the sun by afternoon that it literally shut the app off. And I had to literally use my phone and put it right on the AC to cool it down. So I'm gonna have to get one of those phone holders that goes right over the AC vent. I don't know if it's just because I got a Samsung or what's the problem, but I never experienced the phone. Well, that's not true. One time the whole phone shut down about a year ago. Literally, the phone just cut off. It got so hot. But this time it just shut the apps off. Literally, phone got hot, shut the apps off. And I'm thinking I might have to get an iPhone. Maybe it won't do that. I never experienced it. Hit me in the comments if you have a Android or iPhone. And I already know you Apple fans are gonna all say Apple, 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 but Android has been around a lot longer than Apple, and it shouldn't do that. It shouldn't overheat to the point where it just shuts your apps off, but I guess it's electronics, nothing's perfect. The rumor is Samsung's getting a little cheaper on their products, so I might have to switch. A part of me wants to keep my Samsung, and I got the latest Samsung. I got a 22, whatever model, the basic 22. So I think I'm gonna have to get an Apple in addition to this, because I don't want to get rid of my Android. I'll use my Android for probably business purposes, and I might get an Apple phone for work only, meaning I'll just have those two apps on it, for the Uber and Lyft, because that was crazy. And it just so happens I was not far from where the passenger needed to go. But that was absolutely crazy. Today, all this week, I've been informing people straight up and down. Maybe I'm wrong. You tell me if I'm wrong. I tell passengers straight up how much I get paid. They're usually taking more than 50%. And it usually, not always, but I would say probably about 80% of the time, it results in a tip where I wouldn't have gotten one. And in the past, I've gotten, smart aleck comments. Oh, you're begging for tips. You're begging for tips. I don't look at that as begging. I'm simply telling people what I'm going through, and this is what it is. Now, this week has been extremely, extremely slow, and I think it's due towards the holidays. I didn't realize, because a lot of the moms that I used to pick up in the morning are no longer taking their kids to school because school's been out. A lot of people have been on vacation from work, so it's been really, really slow out here. Thank God I'm doing some stuff online, or guys, I don't even know how I would survive. I don't even know how I would pay my rent if I wasn't already trying to devise backup plans for the future. And I'm going to recommend every driver listening to this video does the same thing. There's no future in there's no long-term future in rideshare, but there is, I believe, a future in transportation. What that means is, at some point, you have a decision to make. You're either going to go 100% private, meaning you have your licenses and necessary things to pick up people privately, not just under the table. I mean, literally, you're going to have to go 100% private, which is going to be costly up front, but in the long run will make you a lot more money, or you're going to have to quit rideshare. It's just that simple. Quit rideshare or go private. That probably should be the title of this video. Quit rideshare or go private, because There is no middle ground. This stuff is just too corrupt with Uber and Lyft. Now, there are some smaller companies coming, and I get it. And if you're in one of those areas that happens to be lucky enough or fortunate enough to have one of these new companies come out that's on a monthly subscription model, congrats. And I give you all the respect in the world, and I think that's great, but I don't think it's coming to Connecticut fast enough. Now, what I will say is Connecticut is trying to pass some legislation to force the rideshare companies to pay a minimum per mile rate. So Connecticut, I'll give you credit. Finally, we'll give Connecticut credit for finally trying. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but they are pushing for it. They want to give Connecticut like a flat, something like $35, $36 an hour, and they want to do like a flat per mile, per minute rate. Hopefully they still want to keep it the same, where we have flexibility, get on and off. But I don't even think that's going to happen fast enough. We could be still talking about another year before that kicks in, if it does happen at all. So you really got a decision to make. You know, you really got a decision to make, whether you're going to go private or quit driving. And I'm kind of in the middle. I kind of want to go form my own transportation company. But again, like I said, it's costly. I am getting some under the table rides that I call private rides, but that come with risk, of course. I'm going to get my own commercial insurance at some point, probably before I even get licensed. So I will probably have the insurance long before I even get the actual licenses. So at least I'll be covered in the event something does go wrong. But a part of me is like, well, just keep working on your online stuff, and that will save you. But a part of me is like, maybe I should do both, you know, because I don't want to be the one behind the wheel in the future. I want to hire somebody and let that person do the driving and just have my own fleet set up, if that makes sense. Get my first larger vehicle, because the vehicle I have is simply too small. I have a Ford Fiesta 4-door. It's not the hatchback, but still it's too small for some of these larger passengers. And I don't mean to make fun of people, but I'm getting people sometimes 300-400. I think I picked up a guy one time that was probably like 450 pounds, and he struggled to get in my back seat with the seat all the way up. And it was to the point where I was like, wow. And that wasn't the first time. That's probably the second large person I picked up that struggled to get in my back seat. And a lot of people will probably think, oh, just get a bigger vehicle. That's costly. That's very costly. But I think for the transportation side, that's necessary in the future anyway. Because just people are just getting larger nowadays. They're just not eating healthy. And I know getting healthy seems like it's a big fad for everybody to go healthy, but there's a lot of large people still eating this fast food. I'm guilty of eating fast food, but you know, I'm not that large. If I was that large, I probably would quit eating fast food altogether. It's just getting out of hand. And I'm trying to make a conscious effort to eat healthier while I'm on the road. I'm eating a lot healthier nowadays than I did when I first started. I remember when I first started driving in 2018, I stopped at any restaurant I saw. I didn't care whether it was healthy, not healthy, and I gained a lot of weight back then. I was probably about 30 to 50 pounds heavier than I am today. I'm a lot smaller today. I would probably guesstimate that I'm probably about 175 maybe. So I'm not small, but I'm not that large where I would say, yeah, I just can't eat fast food ever again, you know? And that's a little even big for my height. I'm only 5'8", so that's probably a little heavier than I want to be, but I'm working on that. But rideshare, you got to make a choice. Not change the subject, but the corruption of Uber and Lyft is just ridiculous. And I've watched this video the rideshare professor did talking about the CEO of Uber, and I have to agree with him. It's so fake that they act like they understand the driver, but they really don't understand the driver. Because number one, I guarantee you the CEO would never pick up somebody in the ghetto somewhere. And he would really see what's going on. And I guarantee you, he would see that most of these people don't tip. The only thing he said that was true was the passengers are very rude. Okay. That's the first honest thing you said probably all year. But besides just being rude, these people do not tip. I have to literally talk bad about your company to get tips. That is just crazy to me. Like, and my percentage of tips is getting high because I even got a response email saying I'm doing great or something because because of something about my tips. And I think Uber and Lyft notices when you're starting to getting more tips than normal. I think they try to figure out, how is he getting tips? What is he doing different? And I don't have any bottled water. I don't offer these people any candy. My car is not exceptionally clean. I clean it when I have time, but I don't clean the car every day. I'll be honest with you. I do a quick once over and maybe shake out the carpets every day, but I will not thoroughly clean this vehicle every day because these people are going to get what they pay for. You know, call me bad, but they're going to get what they're paid for. You're going to get a semi-clean car. I'm definitely cleaner than most, I'll tell you that. Because at least I make the effort to wipe things down and shake out the carpets. So I've been in Ubers where it's filthy. So I'm not filthy. I'm just not exceptionally clean. I'm not going to go out and wash the car every day. For what? For somebody who's not going to tip? It doesn't make any sense. But I have to agree, with the rideshare professor video, I completely think the CEO was just doing that for, the news media to big him up. But he doesn't really know what drivers go through. Come on. And the new Lyft CEO, he's bragging about the rides he did. Again, they pick and choose the rides they want. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's all set up and they just have people waiting that they want to pick up, and they just be like, okay, you order a ride this time, you order a ride, and they just pick up people that they actually hired. It wouldn't surprise me. Because if you truly knew what the driver will go through, you would figure out a way to take a little bit more from the passenger. I know as passengers, we think that is unfair, but if you're going to take more, higher the rates on the passenger side, why isn't the driver seeing that percentage? No, what they're trying to do is satisfy their shareholders and taking more from the passenger and more from the driver. How does that work long term? Explain to me how that makes sense. It doesn't make any sense to keep taking from the passenger and the driver to fix your bottom line and think that you're going to be a long-term sustainable business. Particularly Lyft. You're going to compete with Uber, but this is how you're going to do it. You're going to raise the rates and take more from the driver to compete with Uber. That's not going to work, buddy. What's his name? David Risher? That's not going to work. You have to figure a way to... I could tell you what I think should work. Stop all this foolery, trickery stuff with these bonuses and you got to be in a certain area. Eliminate some of that. Keep some of it, but eliminate some of that and just pay the driver a slightly higher percentage. Maybe instead of taking 50%, you only take 40%. You know, I think it should be even more than that, but that would be a start. That would show me you're actually trying, and then keep some of the bonuses. Maybe you should increase the pay on the driver's side for long rides. Maybe we would take more long rides if we saw a higher percentage in pay. I'll be honest with you guys, I refuse to take long rides anymore. I absolutely refuse. And I won't take rides under a certain amount either, because I'm noticing sometimes there'll be rides for 15, 20 minutes and they still want to pay you $5 or $6. Make this make sense to me, guys. Hit me in the comments. You veteran drivers, explain to me how they can improve. I know some ways they can improve, but give me some tips on how they can improve. And hopefully we can help each other figure this out, because these companies are just, I don't foresee these companies being in business in the next few years. You know, I think there's going to be a lot more competition, like these smaller companies coming out. And I foresee Uber trying to buy these companies to avoid competition. And I see Lyft going out of business in the future. In the near future. If it continues on this path. You know, that's been my rant for today. I would love to give you guys good news sometimes, or all the time, but it is simply impossible to do in the rideshare industry. You either got to quit driving or go private. Thank you for your time, your consideration. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe. Most of you will watch videos and you won't subscribe to the channel. So please subscribe, like, comment, click that bell icon so you get notified for the next video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.